the narcissistic grandparent. Perhaps one of the most dangerous, sick species that we have on the planet, because they leverage children. Very much in a way that an unhealthy divorce will leverage the children during the divorce for custody or favoritism. The narcissistic parent will look at the grandchildren as supply, new sources of supply, new ways that I can mess with the scapegoat children, new ways I can create pain. Now, chances are good, for many years, you have kept your children at bay and protected them from the narcissistic grandparent. But as they become older, that becomes more difficult. And the narcissistic grandparent is just waiting with patience. The narcissistic grandparent will, without a doubt, try to develop a wedge between you and your child if you have not educated that child in early stages of their childhood. That narcissistic grandparent will use anything at their disposal to do this. It gives them supply and it creates pain for you, which in fact is more additional supply for that grandparent. They will use promises of money, false, empty feelings of love. They will tell stories about you to your children that have never happened. They will create lies. They will take any measures in order to somehow make your children wonder what really happened or what is really happening. And should any child feel that confusion, no one knows better than us, as the victims of these sick narcissistic parents, how damaging that is. But yet, trust me, they will use your children as their supply. Fresh bait. They will use the same lies. They will degrade you the same way that they have been telling and degrading you in front of their friends, other people in the family. They will use that to a young child. They will lure them with promises of an automobile, college tuition. They will tell them lies of what you have done in your childhood to make the child afraid and inquisitive and confused. They will create triangulation the same way that they do with you and your siblings, with you and your friends. They will create that same triangulation, pardon me please, between you and your children. And if at the very least, even though you may have educated your children early on, these young, impressionable minds will have confusion and doubt. They don't understand narcissism. It's much too early for their intelligence to really gather that type of sophistication that's needed. But yet they will plant the seed. The grandparents, your parents as narcissists, are absolutely lethal. They were lethal to you then, they are lethal to you now, and make no mistake about it, they are lethal to your children. When you feel, and it's an individual choice, when you feel it's an appropriate time to discuss your parents to your children, do so. Now, don't do it in a degrading, belittling way. Be kind and be gentle when you're having these discussions with your children. Remember, we have a responsibility to raise and nurture our children with mental health. So we have to figure out ways to educate our children, because they're going to come to a certain age also, a certain legal age, where you legally cannot protect them, where you legally cannot get a restraining order. And the narcissist will dangle that carrot, much as they do as if they were the golden child, in front of your children. Make no mistake, the narcissist has no love or empathy for your children. They're going to use them as tools. And they're going to enjoy it. In their old age, they have new supply. And that new supply is your children. Keep your children safe. Learn how to educate your children in a safe way. Educate your children that your parents, if narcissists, are liars, and anything and everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Educate your children when they are of an appropriate age of the abuse that you suffered. Don't ignore it. And don't think because you've had no contact for years that your children are safe. Remember hoovering. The narcissist grandparent will figure out ways through social media or however it may be to touch your children. They will stop at nothing. And I am not exaggerating. And remember this. If you thought your narcissistic parent was sick and cruel and evil when you were a child, remember, they become a lot more sick, a lot more cruel, and a lot more evil as they age. They don't age fine like wine. They become sicker. And you, as a parent, have to figure out a way to educate and protect your children. If you have to, if the children are not yet of legal age, and your parents will not leave you or your children alone, get to law enforcement, get a restraining order, get an order of protection, get a lawyer, do whatever it takes, because mark my words, that narcissistic grandparent is just waiting. They need that supply. They also want to show off their grandchildren. Remember, the narcissists have very few trophies left at older ages to show off to their friends and their social circles. So what will they do? they'll look for new sources of supply, your children, thus making themselves the wonderful grandparent. Protect your kids. The narcissist will not hesitate for a moment in using them. Thank you. I want you to have peace, but I want you to please keep your children away from the narcissist in your life.